Do you have a lot of tumblers and mugs that you need to sublimate? Let me show you how you can do that with the 40L Sublimation Oven by PYD Life. First off, let's look at the design. You have two knobs, one for temperature and the other one for time. You are also able to switch between Fahrenheit and Celsius pretty easily. And this is what the oven looks like side by side with the 25L. As you can see, it's larger capacity, so there's more room for more tumblers and mugs. I'm going to be sublimating all of these items today to show you exactly how it can be done with the sublimation oven. You're going to need sublimation shrink wrap in various sizes, a heat gun, and also some binder clips. I've already printed my designs on my Epson F170 printer, and I've wrapped them around the tumblers with heat tape. For the 20-ounce tumbler, I'm going to use this shrink wrap. All you have to do is put the tumbler inside the wrap and then heat it with the heat gun. The manufacturer recommends using shrink wrap to provide the necessary pressure for the sublimation process. Make sure your heat gun is set to high and then apply the heat. This is a very fast process. I did speed this up slightly, but it is a very fast process. Some people also use silicone wraps, and I've also seen some people who don't use anything at all, but I prefer to use shrink wrap. Now, to save on materials, cut a shrink wrap in half, which will be large enough to cover the print size of this frosted glass can. Then I repeat the process as I did with the tumbler, just wrap and heat. This is an additional step that you don't need to do when you have a tumbler press. However, I find that the results are consistent. It eliminates ghosting as well. Okay, I'm speeding this up so we can get to the next part pretty quickly. Once you get the hang of it, it's very easy. Now, using a larger shrink wrap, I'm going to do the 40-ounce tumbler. This handle is not removable, so we'll be using a metal binder clip. There is one included with the oven. The binder clip holds the shrink wrap so you can have a really tight fit around the handle. I use the binder clips mostly for the larger tumblers. Now we're going to move on to the mugs. Again, I cut a piece of shrink wrap in half. You put the mug in, and with the handle, you just cut a small slit so that you can fit the handle through. And then once you have the handle through, you secure the hole with some heat tape. I find that this method is the best way to get the wrap really tight around the handle. And this reduces the need for a bunch of binder clips, especially when you're having to do 6 mugs at a time. Just heat, and you're done. After a few minutes, I have them all wrapped and ready to go, and this is how it looks. Okay, now that we have everything wrapped, let's go over to the sublimation oven and set the time and temperature. To turn it on, you just press the right button down. Turn the right dial to adjust the time. I started with 10 minutes, but then I looked at the manual and it said if we're going to be putting all of them in one after another, then we should add a couple of minutes. So I added 2 minutes with a total time of 12 minutes for 8 tumblers. There are 2 racks, so I just loaded the first rack, and then the second rack I'll put the rest of them on top. Make sure that you don't have any of them touching so that you have good airflow around each one. Then you close the lid and you just wait for it to beep. Great thing about an oven is you can do other things while it's baking. You don't have to watch over it like you would with a tumbler press. Okay, let's start with the first one here. I recommend that you quickly remove the sublimation shrink wrap. If you wait for it to cool, it will get hard, and it's difficult to remove once it's hardened. I did a variety of designs with different colors, and this one's a gamer design that has very vibrant and dark colors. I made 2 of these, and I wanted to make sure to show you that it works very well with different color ranges. Another tip is I do leave the rest of the tumblers in the oven even though it's not on. That way the shrink wrap is still pliable and easy to remove. This one is a pastel floral. I have a couple of those. The design itself was very light, so it came out as expected. And here's a fun Starbucks one. Let's finish unwrapping the rest of these tumblers. I did 2 of these designs. It's a pretty blue floral, and they both came out perfectly. Let's take a look at all the 20-ounce tumblers. Again, this was $3.55 for 12 minutes. Now we'll move on to the 40-ounce tumblers. The temperature stays the same at $3.55, and the time is also 12 minutes. If we were doing only one tumbler, I would reduce the time to 7 minutes. Okay, let's unwrap this one tumbler. Don't forget your heat gloves because this binder clip gets very, very hot. And also carefully remove the shrink wrap. I do add some tape around the handle just to protect it from the binder clip. I don't want the binder clip to scratch it. And let's take a look at the design. This turned out amazing. It came out perfectly. There is a design on the bottom and the top. I did make 2 of these, and they look great. Here you can see why it's important to use the binder clip. The design has a nice crisp edge. Next, we're going to sublimate the frosted glass mugs. And for 8, we're going to do $3.55 for 17 minutes. You can also use the second rack and just lay these down like we did with the 20-ounce tumblers. I prefer to stand them up so that all sides get evenly heated. Again, make sure none of them are touching. I'm just rearranging them to make sure that there's proper space. And once they're done, just go ahead and reveal the design. Make sure you're using your heat gloves because the glass does get very, very hot. Here's another Starbucks design to match the tumbler we made. And I also made a few florals to match the other tumblers we made. I do want to note that the pastel prints came out very light, but that's expected on frosted glass. This is a pretty floral watercolor design. I also did some watercolor Halloween designs, which came out really nice. Frosted glass, the darker the color of your print, the better. And here is another design that's got some pink in it, some heart cherries. It's pretty cute. And a couple more light designs. These are very hard to see on camera, but they did turn out nicely, and as expected, are actually brighter in person. Super cute ghost and balloons design. It's also watercolor. It looks nice on the frosted glass. Last batch we're going to do is at 355 for 22 minutes. We're going to sublimate 6 ceramic mugs. These are 11-ounce mugs by PYD Life. Mugs traditionally take longer in either a heat press or an oven. If you're only doing one, it takes 12 minutes. While that presses, let's take a look at all these designs now that they have cooled and add the bamboo lids for the frosted cups. I'm very happy with the results. I don't see any ghosting on the designs. The pastels came out light like I mentioned, but that's expected because of the print. I really love the vibrancy of these 40-ounce tumblers. Just going to add the lids to these. These are going to make great gifts. I'm super excited about them. And then let's look at the 20-ounce skinny tumblers and put on the lids. There is the pastel florals. This is a set that I created to be gifted with a mug and also a frosted can. And this cute Starbucks one that I made for myself. I also made a matching mug and a frosted can. Another gift set to match the other frosted can I created. And then of course the very vibrant gamer ones I made for my boys. These turned out perfectly. Really love them. Now let's unwrap the ceramic mugs. Again, I created these to match the other tumblers we made. There's several cute pastel florals. Don't forget your heat-resistant gloves. Ceramic really holds heat and takes a while to cool. Here's a pretty floral watercolor, and here's another one I didn't make before. But I wanted to show you the vibrancy of the yellow and the blue together. And then another floral to match the tumbler, and my favorite, the Starbucks one for myself. All of them came out as expected. Very impressed with results. I didn't get any ghosting on any of these designs. I'm frequently asked if I like the oven over the tumbler press, and my answer will always be yes. The benefit of the sublimation oven is you don't have to purchase additional attachments as you would with a tumbler press. You can do tapered mugs and tapered tumblers without attachments. And of course, this has a large capacity to do many at a time. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, drop them below.